Hey guys, Danny here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over everything to do with buying a house in New World. This is something I have always overlooked and something that I just didn't really care about until playing the beta, until working with the boys in Pirate Gaming, and until figuring out actually how awesome they can be. There are pros, there are cons, and I'm going to run you through everything I know about housing in New World. Buying a house in New World has multiple benefits. Fast travel to your houses in different towns. You can actually own up to 3, and you can fill them with cosmetic and practical items such as storage increase and buffs. We will go through the storage increase, the buffs, the items that you can place in your houses in another video. That is a whole nother topic, but for now we'll just run through the basics. So you will need a minimum standing of 20 in that region that you would like to buy a house. Some more prominent houses require more standing. To buy a house, you will need to find the house that you like. There are multiple in each settlement, and of course, then you just click purchase. One good tip is that you will get a nice discount for your first house. So make sure the one that you want is the one that you buy first. And I think if you wait until your faction or ideally your company owns that settlement, you may even get it even cheaper. This is something I will confirm, and I'll let you know in the comments. Once you've purchased your house, you can go and claim the Brightwood Fort. You will get a minus 5% house tax. Yes, you do have to pay taxes on the houses you own, and if the company that owns that settlement puts their taxes up to the max, it can be extremely expensive to own a house in New World. So once you've purchased your house, you can then start decorating. It's pretty easy and actually really nice system. It's pretty smooth and you can decorate as you wish. So unfortunately in the beta I didn't get a chance to unlock too many housing items, but I managed to purchase a few of the basics. That includes beds, storage, shelving, things like this. As you can see here, we've got an old shelf, an old place setting, some things that go on the walls, some beds to sleep in, things like this. Mostly these things are cosmetic, but as you can see from the storage chest, it's actually a practical use which will increase the storage that you have in that town. One thing I didn't expect was how smooth and how easy it was, and how creative you can be with the decoration mode. So as you can see here, it's really smooth and you can really place things literally anywhere. What I've seen in other house builders is that you are kind of locked to a grid, want for a better term, but in New World you can absolutely place things anywhere. I've even heard of people placing things on the ceiling upside down. So as you can see here, I've placed down like a sideboard, a table, and you can actually decorate on top of the tables too with the old place settings. And there's lots of other things such as cups, lights, things like that. There's also lots of other things you can decorate on the tables: rum bottles, lights, more cups, more plates, more things like that. Lots of stuff that you can place on your tables. So there's 2 strategies that I would take when purchasing my houses in New World. The first being purchasing my first house in Everfall. Everfall tends to be sort of the early mid-game trading settlement, which would be great for crafting and great for working the auction house too, and of course a great hub for you to store all your crafting materials. I would then look to purchase a house in Morningdale. That is currently the furthest north settlement, so that would give you great access to Eden Grove and the Northern Territories. And I would also purchase one in Cutlass Keys. Should I ever need to travel as far south as I can, Cutlass Keys is one of the most southern settlements, which would allow me to access all the materials and resources that are just down in the south. My second strategy would be to pick up my first house in Windswood. That is probably the second main settlement just behind Everfall, which also acts as a pretty good trading hub and crafting hub. I would then look to take Brightwood, which also would replace Morningdale, because that also has great access to the higher level areas. And then I would pick one of the most southern settlements, one that was maybe doing better in the crafting than the others, and probably one that had the lowest taxes at that particular time. So what happens when a new faction takes over the territory you currently have your house in? Ultimately, nothing happens. You still get to keep your house. Nothing changes with regards to your house. But what may happen is that you may be liable to pay more or pay less tax, depending on the company that takes over the settlement and sets them taxes. Be careful though, because if you have purchased your house when the taxes are as low as possible, you may be surprised when that next company comes in and sets the taxes to the max. I think you may, at the highest tax rate, pay over 2,000 coin. What happens if you forget to pay your taxes? Let's say you go on holiday or you just simply forget. You won't get evicted from your house, you won't lose your house, but you will lose the mechanics that come with the house, such as your free house traveling. If you have any trophies in your house, you will lose them buffs too. So to get that back, you will need to pay for your house tax. You will still be able to enter your house, but you will not be able to decorate the house while that tax is unpaid. Are more expensive houses worth it? In short, yes, they are. The more expensive the house and the higher you're standing in that area, the higher tier house you can buy. The higher tier house, the more expensive the house, the more things you can put in that house. In the top right, I've just put a video link to one of the patch notes that we covered a way back, which explains everything to do with the tiers of the housing. Basically, the higher the tier, the more things you can put in the house, essentially. So that's it. That is my cheeky little housing guide for New World. I will be coming up with a future housing guide which will explain all the different trophies, all the different buffs you can get, whether that is increasing your damage in the open world or increasing your crafting skill levels. Stay tuned for that, because that is a whole nother area for us to get into. But if you like this video and it did help you a little bit, please think about leaving a little like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks again, boys.